Have you ever looked at a loved one's face and realized you couldn't see the details anymore? The corners of their smile, the sparkle in their eyes, the soft wrinkles that tell a story, all fading into a cloudy gray blur as if someone had quietly lowered the curtain on your world. That's what cataracts do. They're not just an inconvenience. They are a slow, silent thief that robs you of color, contrast, and connection one blurry morning at a time. And here's the truth, you are not alone. According to the National Eye Institute, over 24.4 million Americans over the age of 40 already have cataracts. And by the time we reach 75, more than 50% of us will have some form of vision loss from cataracts if we don't take action. That means the next time you reach for your reading glasses or squint at a street sign at night or avoid driving because headlights feel like a glare-filled explosion. That's not just aging, that's a progressive eye disease stealing your independence, your safety, and your joy, and perhaps the most terrifying part, most people don't realize they're losing their vision until it's too late. But what if I told you there's a natural way to fight back? A simple food hiding in plain sight that can start protecting your eyes tonight while you sleep. I know it sounds hard to believe, a food for your eyes while you sleep, but this isn't some miracle pill or internet gimmick. It's backed by real science and it's sitting right in your local grocery store. Even better, it's delicious. We'll get to the 4 specific types of fish that are proven to nourish your eyes while you rest, including one that's likely already in your pantry and another that's often overlooked but surprisingly powerful. Because when you sleep, your eyes don't shut down. They recover, they rebuild, but only if you give them the raw materials to do it. So, if you've ever felt scared to drive at night or anxious that you're slowly going blind or frustrated that surgery feels like your only option, stay with me. What I'm about to share could change the way you see the world, literally. And if this is your first time here on the channel, welcome. I'm Dr. James Porter, and if eye healing naturally matter to you, consider subscribing. We're just getting started. Let's start with a fish that almost every doctor, myself included, recommends for heart health, but what most people don't realize is salmon may be even more powerful for your eyes. And I'm not talking about just eating healthy. I'm talking about biological protection at the cellular level, particularly in your retina and lens where cataracts and age-related vision loss begin. Here's why salmon is so special. First, it's one of the richest sources of DHA or docosahexaenoic acid, a type of omega-3 fat that your retina desperately needs. In fact, the retina contains more DHA than almost any other part of the human body. Why? Because DHA makes up the structure of your photoreceptor cells, the cells that convert light into signals your brain can understand. When those cells weaken or die, your vision dims permanently. Now, your body can't make DHA on its own. It must come from food, and fatty fish like salmon are the most efficient source. But that's not all. Salmon also contains a powerful carotenoid called ozanthin. It's what gives wild salmon its deep pink-orange color. Ozanthin is 6,000 times more potent than vitamin C and 550 times stronger than vitamin E when it comes to neutralizing oxidative stress, especially in the lens and retina. Why does that matter? Because cataracts are caused by a breakdown of proteins in your lens, often triggered by oxidative damage from sunlight, pollution, and even your body's own metabolism. Over time, this damage makes the lens cloudy and stiff, and you start seeing that familiar fog, glare, or halo around lights. But when you eat salmon regularly, the ozanthin acts like a tiny firefighter rushing to your eyes to calm the inflammation and repair oxidative damage before it becomes permanent. Still not convinced, a 2020 clinical review published in the journal Marine Drugs analyzed dozens of studies on ozanthin and eye health. Researchers concluded that ozanthin significantly reduced retinal inflammation, improved blood flow to the optic nerve, and protected photoreceptors from degeneration in older adults. They even found early evidence it may delay or reduce cataract formation when combined with omega-3 fats like DA, and the real-world results can come faster than you think. One of my patients, Judith 71, added wild-caught salmon to her meals. Just 3 times a week, within 2 months, she told me, I can finally read the labels on my spice jars again. Next, let's talk about a humble fish that's even smaller but delivers massive protection for aging eyes. If salmon is the king of eye nutrition, then mackerel is the quiet warrior working just as hard, maybe even harder behind the scenes, and unlike salmon, mackerel is cheaper, smaller, and far less talked about, but don't let its size fool you. This fish is absolutely loaded with EPA eicosapentaenoic acid, another critical type of omega-3 fatty acid that complements DHA and directly targets inflammation in the delicate tissues of the eye. Why does that matter? Because inflammation is what makes your retina feel older than it really is. It stiffens blood vessels, it slows nutrient delivery, and over time, it quietly accelerates degeneration of the retina and macula, the parts of your eye responsible for sharp central vision. But EPA in combination with DHA has been shown to reduce inflammatory cytoins in the eye, increase hair production, and improve microarticulation to the retina. One meta-analysis published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science found that patients with early signs of retinal inflammation who consumed fatty fish like mackerel 3-4 times per week had a statistically significant improvement in retinal function compared to those who didn't, and mackerel doesn't stop at omega-3. Second, it's also a natural source of vitamin D, which recent research links to a lower risk of age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, one of the leading causes of blindness in older adults. Plus, it provides selenium, a trace mineral that supports the eye's antioxidant enzymes, especially glutathione peroxidase, which helps detoxify harmful molecules before they damage your lens. Now, let me be clear. Mackerel isn't a miracle cure, but it's a compact, powerful tool that provides the biochemical raw materials your eyes crave, especially after decades of cumulative light exposure, environmental toxins, and oxidative wear and tear. One of my clients, Edward, 68, told me he couldn't tolerate the taste of salmon, but he grew up eating grilled mackerel with lemon and pepper. We built his routine around that, and within weeks he was able to read his crossword puzzle, again without that milky glare that had been bothering him for months. So, if you're looking for an easy, affordable way to support your eyes and you want something that works while you sleep, mackerel belongs on your plate. Next, let's take a look at a fish that's even tinier yet delivers nourishment to every single layer of your eye. If salmon is the king and mackerel is the quiet warrior, then sardines are the unsung heroes of ocular nutrition. They're small, inexpensive, convenient, and yet they carry one of the most complete nutritional profiles for eye health, especially when it comes to supporting every structural layer of your eye as you age. Let's break it down. First, sardines are rich in zinc, a trace mineral that your eyes absolutely depend on, particularly for the health of your retina and choroid, the vascular layer that feeds it. Zinc helps shuttle vitamin A from the liver to the retina, where it's converted into rhodopsin, the molecule that allows your eyes to detect light. Without enough zinc, this pathway weakens and night vision begins to decline. But here's the kicker. Zinc is also critical in slowing the progression of age-related macular degeneration and cataracts. A major clinical trial known as the A Study, Age-Related Eye Disease Study funded by the National Eye Institute, found that a daily supplement of zinc and antioxidants reduced the risk of advanced AMD by 25% over 5 years. Now, sardines don't just bring zinc to the table, they're also high in vitamin B12, which helps prevent nerve damage in the optic nerve, essential for maintaining clear visual signals. And they contain calcium and phosphorus, which support the structural stability of the lens and cornea. Together, these nutrients act like a full repair crew, working during your sleep cycle to rebuild and restore eye tissues under oxidative stress. Here's something else people forget. Because sardines are so small and low on the food chain, they have very low mercury content, making them especially safe for older adults who need to watch toxin exposure. I had one gentleman, Marvin, 73, who lived on a fixed income and didn't want to splurge on wild salmon, so we found a simple routine. Canned sardines and olive oil eaten cold with crackers 3 times a week, nothing fancy. But after a few months, his optometrist noted less cloudiness in his lens during his checkup. That's not magic, that's nutrition showing up where medicine hasn't yet reached. So, if you've overlooked sardines because of their size or smell, maybe it's time to reconsider, because the next time you close your eyes at night, your lens, your asterisk, retina, and your optic nerve could all be rebuilding thanks to a tiny fish you once passed over. Tuna is one of the most consumed fish in America yet when it comes to eye health. It's often underestimated, even ignored, but here's what most people don't know: canned or fresh tuna contains a unique combination of nutrients that make it a powerful ally for preserving vision, especially as we age. Let's start with the basics. Tuna is rich in omega-3 second, particularly DHA and EPA, which we've already discussed in previous sections. But what sets tuna apart is its high concentration of a lesser-known amino acid called taurine. Taurine is one of the most abundant amino acids in the retina. It plays a vital role in protecting photoreceptor cells from degeneration, reducing retinal inflammation, and maintaining fluid balance in the eye, especially important for older adults who struggle with dry eyes or visual fatigue. Animal studies have shown that taurine deficiency leads to severe retinal damage, including cell death and visual impairment. Fortunately, tuna provides a natural dietary source of taurine without the need for supplements or pills, and it gets better. Tuna is also a solid source of selenium, which works synergistically with other antioxidants like vitamin E to protect the lens from oxidative damage, a key factor in the development of cataracts. In one study published in the journal Nutrients, researchers found that regular consumption of tuna and other oily fish was associated with a significantly lower risk of both cataracts and age-related macular degeneration in adults over 60. But perhaps what makes tuna truly accessible is its convenience. Many of my patients, especially those on tight schedules or fixed incomes, tell me they don't have time to cook salmon or sardines, but they almost always have a can of tuna in the pantry. Take Irene, 67, she told me, Doc, I can't grill fish every week, but I can open a can of tuna, mix it with a little Greek yogurt and celery, and have it on toast. That became her go-to lunch 3 times a week. 6 months later, her ophthalmologist noted a stabilization in her lens opacity, a big deal for someone who was inching closer to cataract surgery. Now, of course, not all tuna is created equal. Skipjack and light tuna generally have lower mercury content than Albury or yellow waff, making them a better choice for regular consumption, especially in older adults. But overall, tuna is a practical, affordable, and surprisingly potent addition to any eye-supportive routine. So before you write it off as just another sandwich filler, remember what you eat at noon could be protecting your vision by midnight. Next, let's tie it all together with a simple, realistic plan so you know exactly how to put these powerful fish to work for your eyes. Now that you know the 4 powerhouse fish that can fight cataracts while you sleep, let's talk about how to actually make it work in real life. Because I know how it feels, you hear all this good science, but the question always comes back to, what do I do with it? How much fish is enough? Do I need to eat it every day? Here's the good news. You don't have to overhaul your life. You don't need to cook 5 nights a week or shop at fancy health stores. All you need is something I call the 3-night fish routine. It's simple, it's gentle, and it works. Step 1. Pick 3 nights a week, any nights that work for your schedule. You might choose Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or maybe Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. What matters is consistency, not perfection. Step 2. Choose one of the 4 fish we discussed: salmon, mackerel, sardines, or tuna. Rotate them if you'd like. Keep it simple if you don't. Grill it, bake it, eat it from a can, even mix it into a salad or sandwich. Don't worry about being fancy. The goal is nutrient delivery, not presentation. Step 3. Pair it with an eye-friendly side. Try leafy greens like spinach or kale, which are rich in lutein, or some sweet potatoes or carrots for beta-carotene. Even a small portion of avocado can help with fat absorption, boosting the effect of the omega-3. Step 4. Give your body time to do the work. Your eyes regenerate during rest, particularly in the REM stages of sleep when cellular repair is most active. By feeding them the right nutrients during the day, you set the stage for healing to happen at night. Now, if you're wondering about supplements, sure, they can help. But real food brings along coactors, enzymes, and antioxidants that pills often leave behind. And if fish isn't an option for you due to dietary restrictions, talk to your doctor about algae-based omega-3 sources and taurine-rich plant options. This isn't all or nothing. It's about doing what you can where you are. I've had patients follow this exact 3 plan without changing anything else and come back saying, "I'm not straining to read the paper anymore. Night driving doesn't feel so scary now. It's like someone cleaned the window I was looking through." Is that dramatic? Number. It's biology finally supported. So, tonight when you're choosing what to eat, ask yourself, is this something that will work with my body while I sleep or against it? Your eyes are working harder than you think. It's time we work just as hard to support them gently, consistently, and intentionally. Next, let's bring it all home with a reminder that it's not too late and you have more control than you think. Cataracts don't just blur your vision, they blur your freedom, your confidence, your ability to look someone in the eye and really see them. They make nightfall feel like danger. They turn ordinary things like reading a menu or seeing your grandchild smile into frustrating challenges. And for far too long, people have been told that vision loss is just part of getting older, that it's normal, inevitable, unstoppable. But here's what I want you to hear clearly and without hesitation. It's not too late, not for your eyes, not for your future, not for your life. Because what you feed your body and your eyes matters. And with just a few simple choices each week, you can begin to push back against the fog. 1 forkful of salmon, 1 can of sardines, 1 small act of nourishment. That's the beauty of this. You're not powerless. You don't need to wait for surgery. You can take back control 1 bite at a time. Maybe your eyes won't be what they were at 25, but that doesn't mean you have to settle for living in a permanent blur. You deserve to see the faces you love. You deserve to read the letters, cross the street, and drive at dusk without fear, and you deserve to do it with dignity. So, wherever you are in your journey, whether you're just starting to notice changes or you've been living with cataracts for years, know this. You are not alone and you are not out of options. Thank you truly.